A difficult game for Serbia as they take on Finland. What happened? Let's find out. You're watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. Let's get it.
Let's try to get healthy. Let's stay together. And if we can do that, we'll put ourselves in a good situation.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome. I'm CS Chandler here for another take of some Euro basketball today. Pretty much probably not going to be so much as lately because of the fact that Serbia is out now. They lost to Finland today. I'll go over the match and everything, or the game, but they're out. So Lithuania did win today, which is awesome. Congrats to Big Val and Lithuania, even though I hear that Big Val didn't even play a lot. It's still great to see that down Jokic, they're still doing an amazing job winning games. Wish Serbia had done the same without Bogey, but, can't get everything you want. But before all of that, I wanted to go back a little bit. I don't know if any of you have seen any of the comments on the latest podcast episode that I did when Serbia versus Turkey came around, but there seems to have been some kind of miscommunication because I did not realize how personal Turkey people would take being called, or Sengun being called a copycat. Me calling Sengun a copycat of Jokic is not me saying that Sengun is not a good player. It's just me saying I'm not impressed with him. I understand there are players who take from other players going up because obviously they idol certain players and they want to model their style off of them or whatever. Kobe with MJ, even you can say Jokic with Tim Duncan. He was very Tim Duncan-esque coming in and now has definitely done a little bit more of his own thing now. That is not to say that Sengun is not a good player. I just am not impressed with him. So far, all that I have seen has been stuff that he has emulated from Jokic, and to me, Jokic does it better. I mean, if we want to get into stats and everything, Jokic had averaged a triple-double last season. Did Sengun? No, he did not. Jokic was in the top running of MVP. He should have won MVP last year. Sengun wasn't even in the conversation. Jokic has 3 MVPs. Sengun has 0. Jokic has a finals MVP. Sengun has 0. Jokic has a finals chip. Sengun has 0. So there, you could debate how good Sengun is, and Sengun is getting better. He's a young player, so he is getting better, just as you can say a lot of the younger players are. And I'm sure we will get to a point where he is in the MVP debate. But as of right now, I don't see him in the debate for the next at least 2 to 3 years. I think it needs that much length of time for him to be in the conversation. And then the other thing is, I am not going to say that I absolutely hate Sengun. I will say that whenever the Nuggets play the Rockets, I am the most worried about the Rockets only because of Sengun. I can't say that about any other player on the Rockets. Honestly, I am not afraid of any of the other players on the Rockets except for Sengun. So there is respect there. In that last episode that I said, if he had kept on watching and not stopped just at me calling him a copycat, you would have heard me give respect to Sengun. I even literally said that Serbia's defense could not stop him. I mean, I don't know how much more respect you want to give a player than that. But I'll also say, I like Sengun more than Chet Holmgren. I like him more than I like SGA. I like him more than I like J-Dub. I like him more than I like Ant-Man. I like him more than I like Rudy Gobert. I like him more than I like Jason Tatum. I like him more than I like Jaylen Brown. I like him more than I like Peyton Pritchard. There are so many other players that are below Sengun in my list of people that I care about or respect about. So please understand, if you're from Turkey, it was not me trying to slap you. I understand now how sensitive you are to being called a copycat. It's not to say that it's going to be forever, and my take is not etched in stone. It can definitely evolve, just as Sengun's game will evolve. But I just needed to get that out and clear that air up. That no, I am not absolutely hating Sengun, although I do respectfully hate him, if that makes sense. If you can understand that. It's not me saying, like, I straight up hate KD. And I like Sengun a lot more than I like KD. KD is an absolute troll. And as someone who rides behind Jokic and now has ridden behind Serbia because of that, I'm going to root for whatever team Jokic is on, even if they're going against USA. And when KD said what he said about the Nuggets fans not rooting for the US, I mean, that kind of lost me. I don't care what happens to KD as long as he's far away from Denver. Like, I hate him. I straight up hate him. I straight up hate Chet Holmgren. I straight up hate J-Dub and SGA and pretty much all of the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's why I am now adapting them to being the Dust Bunnies. After that clip that went by with the Nuggets, like that, I'm 100% calling them the Dust Bunnies now. I cannot stand the Thunder. So please, Turkey, like, keep on listening to what I'm saying before you react. It doesn't always have to be a victimization. Okay, that's all. So now moving into today's game, we had Finland versus Serbia, and once again, Serbia takes another defeat. This one actually matters, and this was exactly what we were all talking about, hoping that wouldn't happen, happened. And you can just see the need for Bogdanovic, which is crazy because I think what Bogdanovic does for Serbia's national team is kind of what like Schroeder does for Germany. They both are not great in the NBA, but in their own respective countries, they are phenomenal. So, you know, the losing Bogey really did hurt Serbia. He was the captain, and he was like pretty much the spear to, or the tip of the spear for them. And they have been relying on Jokic now, and completely look like what the Nuggets looked like last season. Like, it's straight up like almost like you could like not, or you could cover up everyone's name on the back of the jersey, and it would almost seem like you're watching the Nuggets from last year play. It's that kind of like similar. The tip-off was won by Lauri Markkanen, who I will not call a copycat. I also know Finland isn't as touchy. I just want to say too, like, kind of stepping away from basketball, but I do appreciate Finland a lot, primarily because they gave us Mikko Rantanen for the Avs. I know he's no longer on the Avalanche, but Finland is a very amazing hockey country. And so I have all the respect for them. And I have respect for Markkanen too. And I really pray that he does not become a Laker ever. I don't respect the Jazz very much, but it's also because I'm not worried about them. But I actually don't, you know, I dig Markkanen's play a lot. Like, he's not that bad of a guy. Like, he's pretty cool. That's probably also comes from the respect that Finland kind of gives people and everything that I dig. So, but it starts off with Markkanen winning the jump ball, and then quickly, like very, very quickly, Finland opens up a 10-point lead in the beginning of the first. It was pretty crazy, and Serbia was struggling very hard but then give them credit, they did battle back, and they cut the deficit to 4 at the end of the first, ending with a 24-28 Finland lead. And then as soon as Jokic checks back in during the second quarter, Serbia begins to take over and claim a small little lead with a 3 from Micic. They go back and forth for a couple of minutes before they finally begin to pull away with another 3 from Micic at the end of the quarter, giving Serbia a 4-point lead, which is probably the largest lead that they had the entire game. And they would end the second with Serbia in the dominant quarter, outscoring Finland 24-16, going into the half up 48-44 Serbia. And then the third quarter saw the reverse of that as Finland battled back, dominating Serbia, finishing the quarter on top by 2, winning the quarter 24-18. The most Serbia would have a lead is by 2, and that's in the fourth. Finland was very dominant once again in the quarter, and the game was daggered in the final minutes, or actually the final minute of play, as Finland landed back-to-back threes. Even Jokic, who was able to get off a 3 with seconds left, it still wasn't enough because they were still down by 5. So they definitely got manhandled in this game. I mean, maybe not manhandled. Maybe that's a poor word choice, because they didn't get blown out. That's one thing. And a lot of people are doomed by what happened and everything. It was a big upset, and it definitely was a big upset. But they didn't get blown out by like 20 or 30 or whatever, you know? Like, they still were in striking distance. It's just eventually they made a lot of the same mistakes that they made with Turkey at the end, and paid for it. And so they are down by 5 at a couple of seconds left in the game. And really, Serbia gave up the game with rebounding. More specifically, the offensive rebounding, where Finland out-rebounded them by more than double, 24-12 in Serbian offensive rebounding. So that means that they weren't even collecting their own rebounds, trying to get second chance points. Who does that sound like? Who in regular season did that remind us of from last year? The Nuggets. What was the one thing that I was constantly hounding the Nuggets every single game that they would lose, even some of the games that they won, was the offensive rebounding. And now we're seeing it with Serbia. It's so crazy how similar these two teams play. And the only real connection they have is Jokic. And yet, very similar play. Very similar. And so Serbia out-rebounded Finland a little in the defensive rebounds by 4, 24-20. But as you can see, that's not enough in order to win a game. Finland kept getting second chance points. Markkanen was a beast. Obviously, he had a great game. And then Vlotnin, who's on the Finland team, he had a phenomenal end of the fourth. And so Finland, Markkanen had a 29-point game with 8 rebounds, 3 assists. And then his teammate Vlotnin had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Another big score for them was Jutinen. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that. Jutinen, 15 points. What was it? 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I mean, and then you go to Serbia. Jokic, and a lot of people are blaming Jokic for losing this game, which I do not think is fair at all. Because this is the stat for Jokic. He played 33 minutes today. In those 33 minutes, he got 33 points. That's almost a point a minute in the time that he's on the court. Obviously, that's not what literally happens, but I'm just saying that's pretty much almost a point a minute that he's making with his time on the court. So 33 points. He averaged 69% proficiency in his going 9 for 13 with field goals, 1 for 2 and 3 points, and the one was that last 3 points he made at the end there. He had 74% with free throws, 14 for 19, whereas Markkanen was 100%, unfortunately for Serbia at least. And then he had 8 rebounds, 3 assists. He had He had a couple turnovers, but he had 3 steals and 1 block. He was a -7. So I don't see how anyone can blame the loss of Serbia to Finland completely on Jokic. Maybe he has some lack in defense here and there, but I mean, he still had 3 steals. I mean, people forget that stealing the ball is part of defense. And he had the most amount of steals out of all of Serbia, the team that is. Finland, Markkanen had 4 steals. So he outdid him there. But I mean, you can't blame the loss of a team for a team sport solely on one person. Unless that person is Pesic, who the coach, who is from what I'm hearing, was falling asleep a lot at what was going on, and not literally falling asleep, but you know what I mean. Like, he wasn't doing making the right subs, and he wasn't calling the timeouts in the right time, and subbing in the right players at the right time. So there is a little bit of, you can put the loss on that one player, because kind of similar to film, I always like to say, is that the head coach is the director of the film. So whatever good happens, within basketball, whatever good happens, it's the players that get the reward, and anything that bad happens should be on the coach. That's kind of what happens here, I think, is that Pesic gets all of the blame. But not completely, because you still have, I feel like, some players overall, just like the overall team playing, that is what it should be blamed for. Again, the rebounding, the second chance points giving to Finland. So, I realized I didn't say the final score. The final score was 92-86 for Finland. So Finland will move on and face the winner of France versus Georgia, and kind of hope that France wins there, just because I know a lot more people there than I do Georgian on the team, and I feel like they probably will. Turkey won. Congrats, Turkey. Congrats, Sengun. They beat Sweden, eliminated Sweden. Now they will face the winner of, Poland and Bosnia. And then we're still waiting for Italy and Slovenia match, which I believe is tomorrow. Israel and Greece, which is also tomorrow. So the winner of Greece or Israel will face Lithuania, and who defeated Latvia today. And then the winner of Italy and Slovenia will face Germany, which, I am sorry, both Slovenia and Italy, that is a tough matchup. You guys have, whoever wins, you are going to have your hands full with Germany. Godspeed, y'all. More power to y'all. I hope, I'm rooting for Italy, but, at this point, and whoever does win, and then if they were to win against Germany, I think that would be even a bigger upset than Finland winning over Serbia. I think Germany, as of right now, Germany or Turkey are the two front runners for winning the full thing. So, unfortunate that Serbia went down, but very similar to Nuggets, and we'll see. The biggest silver lining for me is that now Jokic can get rest. And that's the one thing I've been saying this entire time of EuroBasket, is that I'm just worried of him getting hurt, especially with the whole elbow thing. I know it's probably more like a bruised elbow. Hopefully it's not a big deal, but still, that worries me. And, you got to worry about when your golden goose gets hurt. And so hopefully he gets enough rest for when training camp starts up. He's good to go, and then we're hitting the ground running. We still have one nugget left in the EuroBasket, and that is our big guy, Big Val, Valanciunas, Jonas Valanciunas. And so they defeated Latvia today with a score of 88-79. Bye-bye, Unicorn. so long. I'm happy about that. Like, get out of here, Porzingis. That's another guy I'll hate. So Turkey, I actually hate Porzingis. I think he's worse than Sengun. So, seriously, don't come at me with that that hate that you all came at me with. Like, man, not realize how sensitive y'all are. Lithuania took over the first quarter 28-18, so a 10-point lead in the first. They tied the second 19-19. Lithuania then won the third quarter 19-17, and then Latvia won the fourth quarter 25-22. But obviously by 3 points, that's not enough to win the game, especially when you've been dominated so badly in the first quarter there. It seems like it was already done after the first. So box score wise, though, Valanciunas had 9 points in 9 minutes. So kind of like Jokic, averaging almost a point a minute that he's on the court. That's, he didn't get any rebounds, which is surprising because that's supposed to be his thing. He's the big guy. He's supposed to get all the rebounds. He only had 1 assist. Man, he had like little to no stats here in 9 minutes. That's crazy. But Tubeless, and I'm not even going to try to say some of these names. I'm sorry. I am horrible with it. I don't want to butcher it. But there's 2 guys on there tied at 18 points. But then Velika was the top scorer of 21 points. He had also 11 assists. So he had a double-double. And then 5 rebounds. And then what else we got here? He was also the leading player with assists. The leading rebounder was Tubeless with 12, so he also got a double-double as well. He did a lot of defensive rebounding. Seems like they also were kind of having a little issue with offensive rebounding as well, because Latvia got 22 defensive and Lithuania got 12, so they out-rebounded Lithuania on the offensive end by 10. And then Lithuania did the same. Actually crushed Latvia on the offensive rebounding for Latvia of 32-14. So that's crazy. But that's really awesome that Lithuania was able to come together after their top player going out with an injury, a horrible injury, and they rallied together to get some wins here. Birudis did not play at all, so there was still, I guess, a little bit of shorter rotations and everything. Not everyone getting a chance to play in an elimination game too. That's kind of crazy. But so Lithuania goes on. Big Val continues playing in EuroBasket. So from the future podcasts, while this is still going on, I might still follow EuroBasket. I'm kind of, I'll dabble a little bit into it, but I'm not going to be as active in it just because Serbia is out. But I will still, obviously Lithuania's in it. I know my guys at DNVR are going to probably hold back a little bit on it, but I'm going to still root for Valanciunas because he's a Nugget now. Got to give my support to any Nugget out there. So also crazy was, I don't know if any of y'all saw that the Nuggets pretty much got the workout in. The only one that they were missing, the only 2 people that they were missing was Jokic and then Tim Hardaway Jr. because Tim Hardaway Jr. is like on some kind of vacation or whatever, but the rest of them were balling out. And it got me so excited to see Cam Johnson getting assisted by some other Nuggets players for some dagger threes. It's going to be so fun this season. I am still freaking excited. Like, I understand people are concerned with Jokic's weight right now. I'm not. If anything, he's going to be very much like Shaq-esque of like just bully-balling people around. Like, I'm not really concerned about it. And if he doesn't have as good of a year as last year, that's actually probably meaning that what happened in the offseason is working for the Nuggets. Like, you kind of want Jokic to have less minutes. You want him to maybe not take as many shots because he's assisting the other guys on the floor. So I don't think that we're going to have a phenomenal season from Jokic, but I still think that he's going to be the key piece, obviously, overall for the team. So I think this is going to be Jamal's year. I've said it before. I'm going to keep on saying it. I'll probably say it every single episode leading up to the first game of the season there. I seriously think Jamal is going to be him again. I think he's going to come back. Blue Arrow's going to come back with a vengeance. And I also think CB is going to have himself a year. I think those two specifically. I think also Aaron Gordon, those three. Cam Johnson, we definitely need Cam Johnson to have a good year, and I think he will, especially being assisted by Jokic. So I'm really excited for this season. I don't know about y'all, but I'm very excited. We also had Peyton Watson got himself some baseball time with the Rockies yesterday. He threw the opening pitch, and the Rockies beat the San Diego Padres, who are one of the top teams in the MLB right now. That's a roller coaster right there. Of you want to talk about a team that you just don't know what the heck is going on with. The Rockies can win. They've gotten some amazing wins against some of the top teams, and then gotten some horrible blowouts. It's crazy, but they did blow out the San Diego Padres 3-0 yesterday. And I kind of feel like Peyton Watson rubbed off a little bit of that Nuggets winning vibe aura on the ball when he threw it. And so, you know, we gotta love when Colorado wins. So awesome that they did that, and that Peyton Watson was able to throw out the pitch there. I would love to go to Nuggets night at Coors Field there eventually sometime in the future. It's been a while. I mean, I did go for the last home game of the season last year, which was awesome. They'd lost to the St. Louis Cardinals, right? Yeah, St. Louis Cardinals. So, but then we'll have a training camp coming up here very, very soon. It's in a couple of weeks. My birthday's in a week, or in 10 days, really. So, you know, I don't know if I'll do a episode at that time. Maybe I will, and maybe I won't. I don't know. I'll have something special. We'll definitely keep a lookout. I'll see what if I have enough time to. So that's pretty much all I got for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like and subscribe. Share it out to your friends and family. And you've been watching CS 105.1, where I talk about sports with good vibes. We'll catch you later.